this sector?
I think you have to just bear in mind that tourism is one of the fastest growing industries in the world. As a percentage of GDP, it's whatever, 10 or 11%. It employs 1 or 10 or 11 people in the world. So the significance of the industry is not in doubt. It is the question of how it grows in a sustainable way, how the benefits are enjoyed by all, or do we end up with a race to the bottom, where it's simply a matter of numbers? How many people can any country draw in at any given time? That's going to be the big challenge. How to create a tourism industry that's meaningful, that's sustainable, and profitable. The role of media is not to promote one view or the other. The idea of sustainable tourism is a policy that's put forward by the UNWTO and at the United Nations level as part of the SDGs. And it is something that we have to report not only on its validity, but the progress being made and where it makes sense and where it's going off the rails. And I think that the one thing that the media can become obsessed about is this idea of, are we creating this? Are the goals being met? Is the UNWTO doing the right thing? Are they doing the wrong thing? That is not our job. Our job is to cover what is happening and how it is being enforced, how it is being monitored, and to point out the successes and those situations where more work needs to be done. But we are not in the business of promoting somebody else's agenda. That would be a grave mistake for people to believe that that's the role of the media. You cannot engage with the media only when things are going well. You cannot contact people like me and say, I've got a great story for you, come along and cover this magnificent thing that's happening, or why don't you come along and promote this thing? I'll simply tell you where to go. A good story is a good story. But the real relationships are those that are built over a long period of time, so that I understand the good that's happening in your country, the difficulties that are happening in your country, and what you're doing about them. Now, this isn't a zero-sum game, but those tourism ministers that come up to me at events like this and say, oh, why don't you come and visit my country? I feel like saying to you, where were you the other 364 days of the year? But those tourism ministers who are in a regular dialogue with me, saying, this is what we're doing about sustainable tourism, this is what we're doing about terrorism, this is what we're doing on the security issue. By the way, we have an issue with overcapacity and overbuilding on the seafront. This is what we're doing. They are the ministers that will have my ear when they've got a good story and a challenging story. So my advice to any minister, to any tourism bureau, that thinks that you can just turn it on and turn it off. It doesn't work that way. You will get burned. Long-standing relationships with people like CNN build bridges that both parties cross in the future.